Hey, what's going on? It's Jason, aka the Dad Next Door, and it's that time of the weekend. It is time for the show. Now, this week, my special guest is a guy who I tried to get on twice before, and one time he was out in the woods and he couldn't get internet, and the second time the lights got cut off in my neighborhood and I didn't have internet for 2 days. But now, third time's the charm. We finally both showed up on time. We both have internet. So this should be a really good show. So you're going to get to meet my man Chase in a minute. And the reason why he's a special guest is because he is actually the reason why this show exists. But I'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, check out the beginning intro that I love to show you guys every time. Be right back.
Fatherhood. It's how we keep our tribes and families strong. You've landed in the right place if you're ready for dad jokes, tips and tricks on fun parenting. Also with interviews with some of the coolest dad entrepreneurs we could track down and have them share their strategies to tackling it all in business and life on the Dad Next Door. And now, your host, Mr. Dad Jokes himself, Jason Centeno.
Hi, Nana. They don't show you it in action because things like this. Oh, fix it. Man, I should give her $1 every time for that. But hold on 1 second. We are missing somebody. There he is.
Hey, yo.
I do like that intro. Are you a superhero?
For sure, man. For sure.
I think with that stash, you definitely are.
Right.
So guys, this is my guy, my ace boom coon, Chase Tyler Frost, who changes his look every 5 days. I don't know how he does it, but he does.
I'm a man of many faces. I
I
was blonde.
Yeah, I mean, you were blonde. You had like, you had, I don't know, your facial hair went up this way. Yeah. I can't. I mean, if they're trying to track you down, if you were a criminal, they'll probably never find you at all. What you got, the Mr. Potato Head looks.
Yeah, mixing up, bro. Mixing up, popping on New Year's and everything.
So a lot of changes this year for both of us. So last time we met, I wasn't doing any of this, right? I was, we were talking real estate. We were both there for the real estate family reunion, and we both talking real estate. You were doing marketing with what's the name of that
Longship Systems.
software? Yeah you're you were doing
all the marketing automation stuff.
That
world.
So nowadays I'm doing this Dadlabs thing. I'm helping people develop their app ideas. In fact, I have next couple of weeks, I have a seed round, a first seed round that I'm raising for. Starting to get my pitch deck together and all these other things ready for that. But like, that is definitely a big change. I also happen to, just to let you know, because you told me that you were doing this too. I just happen to co-author a book. Let me not say author because I'm like one of 10. But listen, a win is a win. That thing will be published soon. And, I'm trying to catch up to you, my man, because I know you said you're going to write a book. You've been doing all this stuff. You moved this year. You started not one. Well, you had one gig, and now you're doing 2 other gigs, and these are all you. This is off your own entrepreneurial journey. So I'm going to stop talking about myself, and we're going to find out what's your story, bro. Tell us about yourself.
Before we go into my story, we should go back to how this came to be, man. Like you and me at that table. Like, let's start there. Or are we coming up on that later? Because
No. I want you to tell it because I have said it before.
Cool. Yeah,
I want to hear from you how that started because I had my impression and I want to hear what yours was.
So we were talking business for a little bit, and then we started talking about fatherhood. I'm a father of 2, and it's like my favorite thing in the world being a dad. Like, if I don't get the waterworks in this podcast, like, we're lucky. Right. Because I think it's super special to me. I had a great dad. And, I feel like that's something that most people don't get is a great dad, like a great male caretaker who, takes care of them. Right. And loves them and shows them how to be a man. And I really feel like I had that. So like, as I've come into my own and become a dad, it's just been like the most special thing. Like I remember when my kid was born, I snotted through like 6 of those masks. I kept on crying. I was overwhelmed, like just woof. Overwhelming, and it was so great. So we sat down at the table and started talking about dad stuff. I've been a part of some groups like Fathers of the Future you know, that's all about being a better man so you can be a better father and stuff like that. And we just started geeking out on being a dad. Because do you have 6, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13?
Don't do that to me.
I
ain't ready for that.
You're 6, right? So, and you adopted, you know, quite a few, right?
Yeah, 6 kids, 5 adopted. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. So I just remember we were sitting at the table when we started geeking out about being a dad, and we had this idea to like start running the podcast, right? And like I remember even in the beginning before we scheduled, you're like, "Hey, man, you gonna do this with me or not?" And I was like, I'm juggling like 15 things. I'm going through a move. I've got this, that, and the other. And like to watch you run this on your own. Because I remember you hit me up like 2 or 3, like, "Hey, I'm serious, bro. I'm not joking around. I've got to do a podcast and geek out about dad stuff." And you know, I just got overwhelmed with the part of my life, and it wasn't really a fit. And just to watch you run with this has been a riot, dude. It's been fun. It's been fun to see, and to have it be. You want to be on podcast number 1, on the first show. Like, "Hey, man, let's get you on. Like, this is the inaugural show," and we couldn't make it work because by internet mishap, and then we rescheduled later. So for me, it was just clicking about being a father, you know, and clicking about being you know, in a good marriage and having a good solid family life, because that's the reason why we produce in the first place. You know, we're not trying to, you know, make money and do big things in business so we can like drive Ferraris, although I wouldn't mind one, but really it's so we can produce like great lives for our family.
Yeah. And then I know we were goofing around a lot. I forgot who else was at that table, but yeah, me and you vibed out. And then I come to find out like you were one of the speakers, and I'm like, "Oh, this dude, he was real undercover." And then now he's like presenting. I'm like, "Oh man." So, and that's just funny how that happened that whole weekend. I ended up becoming good friends with you, with Trey Taylor, with Jeremy, and some of the guys that have all been on this episode. But like, it was so random because I just went for the, you know, to be honest with you, I went to this thing for the hell of it because I was just like, COVID's kind of over, and now they're doing events, and I need to get out the house, and it's, you know, let me go rub shoulders with some entrepreneurs because I missed this, right? And then, you know, we just ended up having a good time. So that's the birth of this bad boy. And it was like you got all excited. I said, "Let's do it," and then you were like, "Nah, man, I'm moving. I'm doing." So 21 episodes later, here we are. But
here we are, back to the beginning.
Better late than never, right?
For sure.
That's how these things happen. Is as long as one person runs the ball and, you know, the other person catches it whenever they catch it, it's still a game. So that's how I look at this. So
it is what it is, right?
What was that?
It is what it is, right? I mean, it's you know, sometimes things don't line up, right? When we want things to line up, sometimes it just takes a different turn. So I appreciate it.
But I appreciate you planting the seed, because I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know what I was going to do with this thing. And I was just kind of, let me just start it because I said I was going to. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's created some relationships, deeper relationships, some joint ventures. It's also put me on the path with the whole app development stuff, because one of the people I met through doing it. So I'm thanking you, because if it wasn't for you, I'd probably be probably be regretting something. I don't know by now.
When you follow that little voice that comes in your head and your chest, like you got to run with it, man. Like, because if you didn't, it wouldn't work, dude. That's why I had to do my own thing. It was because, like, dude, there's this voice that says you got to run your own ball, right? You got to take your own destiny in your own hands and be a man and go provide and produce, and you got to have the whole game in your court. You're finally ready. So,
and you are definitely a man of action. So, you of all people, I would say, are when you say you can't do something, it's acceptable, because even with the first episode, when we first tried to get this together, you were out in the woods somewhere with a bunch of dudes beating chests and no electricity and talking about, we have to huddle for warmth because we're living under the stars. It was some kind of retro war.
Yeah.
What was that
So
thing?
I'm part of a group called the Multiple Club. It's a mastermind for entrepreneurs that helps people build their interpersonal value, like their body, being, balance, and business. And at the same time, they have coaching for building your enterprise value, helping build your company to scale and exit. And interestingly enough, that group is the reason why I came home, sold my house, bought into a software company, and then started another agency right after that. Was because I finally understood how a company is bought and sold and how to evaluate them and how to build something that wins. So finally guided, I've done a lot of personal development, I'm a little bit of a junkie sometimes, overly into it, but it hasn't really matched my business, performance, right? It really hasn't added up into my checkbook. So this is the first place where I married the two. And we do these, it was the first event that they'd done, like that was for the quarterly group, like the official members. And like, they wouldn't tell us anything. They're like, hey, we're going to go to Palm Springs, you know, like be prepared for this, this, and this. And it's like, I don't know what's going on. So what's crazy was that weekend, like that day, we were riding razors, running around the desert, doing some crazy stuff. And then coming back to do a bunch of presentations and business planning and a whole bunch of crazy things. And no internet, no connection. And it was a wild time, man. So that's what that was all about. And I'm actually going out there next Monday again. You know, we're going to St. George and doing another meeting with Kevin Harrington and the whole Eddie Wilson and a whole bunch of other folks, and doing like kind of a little refresher. And, you know, really, we've had some massive exits already in the group that have been pretty fun to watch.
Nice. So here's the big question right now. How did you become an entrepreneur in the first place?
So what's interesting, I got my start way back when e-com was just brand new. I got on Alibaba, and I think I might even have a watch here. Like I got these little silicone watches with replaceable faces. They have them all over the place now. But I found out you could buy them for $3 on Alibaba and sell them for $30 on the internet. So I started spitting those and hustling those, but I had no idea how to do anything but hustle. And then I found this place called Infusionsoft that's like literally down the street from my house over here. And, you know, it's a big, you know, it's a software for entrepreneurs, all-in-one CRM, email marketing, and all that stuff, automation platform. And I worked there for about 3 years, and everybody I talked to was like solid, like businessmen, like businessmen, businesswomen, people who are building awesome stuff. And you had some entrepreneurs who are trying to use the software that the big players were using, but I got a lot of great exposure there. And then I went over to a place called 6th Division, where we had a bunch of entrepreneurs, people who were bought into a vision, 12 of us. And I got to really work with like some of the best people on the planet when it comes to marketing, sales, and systems, you know, like how they're hiring, how they're building cultures, you know, watching them, you know, do all of their business. Cause when I was the sales guy there, and I got to interview them on what, like their whole business model to try and sell them systems and implementation. And I got like the best education ever from all, like Ramit Sethi was a client of ours at once upon a time. We had, you know, Pat Flynn worked with us once. Like I got to talk to these people on a regular basis. I got to speak on stages and run around, and everybody I was talking to and networking with were like Matt Andrews, you know, who's a super stud, you know. You know, we have like a Jason, Collective Genius. He's my homie. I can't believe I can't remember his name right now. Jason Medley, obviously. The guys at BGS, these e-com guys. So I'm watching these guys build all this awesome stuff. And I actually went off and started my own company, and I failed. Like it failed miserably. Partnership went bad. Things went wrong, and not bad. Like let's just say the business failed.
That's what was that? The orthodontic?
Orthodontic. Yeah, it was orthodontic coaching. We had like an online platform. It was clinical. My business partner was an orthodontist, and like one of my best friends. And you know, when someone's already running like a heavy demanding business, like being an orthodontist, running a side business is kind of like there's misalignment. Right? There's misalignment when you have something that's that demanding. So it never really got off the ground the way that we wanted it to. So once we split there, I was kind of like 2020, I was a little bit lost, you know, kind of like, dude, I just exited this company, just got a brand new baby. I got like a 2-year-old and a brand new baby. This company didn't work out, and I'm kind of like in limbo. And so Clint hit me up and said, hey man, let's go back, you know, like the old days. Cause I've been working with Clint since Infusionsoft and 6th Division. And
explain Clint for people who don't know Clint.
Okay, Clint's with Longship Systems, right? So what he does, he helps people to design, define, and implement like their client journey using whatever automation platform that they use, right? So think ClickFunnels, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, all that good stuff. Like he's one of the best in the world at it, super solid. And we've been friends for 10 years now. We actually worked before that at University of Phoenix, way back when I had my watch company, like 2009. So we're old buddies. He's like, hey, come help me build this up. And so I worked with him for about the past year or so, and I got to meet people like you and get back in that network of like awesome people. And, you know, finally I decided, you know, this is gonna be my own thing. I'm gonna run my own ship and I'm gonna make my own thing happen and go from there. I got one partner and like full control, which is what I've never had. I've always kind of relied too much on other people, you know, like, hey, I'm not going to be in full control. I'm going to like allow partnerships or other people to drive or other people to run the ship. And this is the first time I'm like, no, dude, I know all the things I need to know. I just need to be willing to fail is what it comes down to, you know? So, and one last thing, you did say that you bought
a company. So what did you buy and then you took it over and now that's your company? Like instead of like, because sometimes people forget like, oh, I got this great idea and, they're going to go build it from scratch and it could take years. But smarter people will sometimes go and find something and be like, you know what? I probably can get that for cheap. It's going to put me 2 years ahead of schedule. I know I can take that and make it into something. And then they just buy their way ahead of things. And so that sounds like what you did.
Yeah, so I bought into a company. It's pre-launch. It's called Content Web. Be on the lookout. We're gonna be ready for the public in like Q4. Right now we're using it to run my other business. It's our tool, but it helps people plan, produce, post, and track all of their social content in one tool. So think if like Hootsuite had a baby with Canva, and then had a planning tool to help you decide exactly what to say, so your social content can be streamlined and scheduled over time. So it's a really smooth, easy tool to help you like plan, produce, and post. So we use that for my agency, where we go in and we plan everything we need to do. We produce it inside the app and then we post it automatically. So we'll go out to an orthodontic practice or a cosmetic dentist practice, which is what I do. Smile Connect marketing is what we're doing. And we go out to a practice and we plan everything out first. We go there and we shoot 2 to 3 days of media footage, and then we schedule it all out and get it ready to post, and then manage the social media account and all their content marketing over the span of, however long they're working with us, 6 months, a year, 2 years. We're 3 months in. So far 3 months, so.
Hey, whatever, man. It's like I said, you made a lot of moves this year. Cause I know we both did, but like you really did. And I appreciate you even making out time for this. Cause I know you got the kiddies. So one other thing I wanted to ask too, also is like, does entrepreneurship run in your family anywhere? Was it your like dad or are you the only hustler? Like, where did the hustler bone come from? Or
my dad's a hustler. So this is like part of my dad's story, right? So my dad was a sales guy. Like he was on stage doing like Tony Robbins events, like some of the pre-sales. He worked with Les Brown. He was on the road a lot when I was a kid, like 0 to 11, right? Like this guy was on the road 3-4 days a week. And my mom was a speech therapist. My mom is a speech therapist. They run a relatively successful speech language pathologist business in Utah. And my dad, when I was about 11, he felt like he was just missing out. He's got 6 kids or 5 kids and 1 on the way, and 5 boys, like crazy house. And he's on the road 3 to 4 days a week. So he's just feeling like he's missing everything: soccer games, baseball games, all that stuff. So he decides, hey, I'm not gonna do this anymore. He's making good money. He decided to come home and like coach T-ball and coach soccer and coach golf and like be super involved in our lives. And he was a seminary teacher in Utah. They have like the LDS church. You can get like a school credit for taking a religious course, like on school property pretty much. So my dad's a glorified school teacher, so to speak, for the church. And he's just running around being a dad full time for like the next 6-7 years. It was crazy because it was a very important time for him to like come home, so to speak, right? Like 11, 12, 13 middle school ages, having like that influence. I could see where I was going. As a kind of a wild child, as you can imagine, like I'm a little high energy and like I have an issue with authority. So like seeing him come like be that, and looking in hindsight, it's like, man, I had incredible parents. I had an incredible mom as well, like the power couple. Been together since like they were 14 years old, still holding hands and being all cute and stuff. It's ridiculous. But seeing my dad come home was the reason why I was super passionate about being a dad, because I saw the impact that it had on all of us, right? But like the hustler gene came from watching my dad early, and then really my mom's speech therapy business picked up late. Like after my dad came home, she started working harder on the speech business. So it came from both sides, both sides of the family. A lot of my family members are hustlers, right? More than entrepreneurs. Like they'll hustle, they'll work hard, construction or air conditioning, or my brother's a contractor. My other brother is a sports psychologist. Like he teaches people how to perform on purpose, with purpose. Trains some like Olympians and some different things. So it's just in the family, man. It's in the blood.
So I know your kids are young now, but think any of them going to pick up the hustle mentality yet? Or are they still?
I hope they can learn it by osmosis, But one of the things I'm trying, I'm aware of, is not trying to. I want to unleash my kids and direct like their energy. I'm not trying to control it and make them into like smaller versions of me, right? So like I'm hoping just by being around it. My wife's also an entrepreneur. Like she runs a hair extension business. Russian hand-tied Wefs. She hustles, shut us down in 2020 as well. 2019, we did a few $100,000 in revenue. 2020 was like, because they shut us all down. But hopefully they learn it by osmosis. But if they don't, if he wants to play the trumpet and do nerd stuff and be an engineer, like I won't be disappointed. But he'll pick up what he picks up here.
Dude, when you said hair extensions, I just kind of had a vision of you with some hair extensions just now because of all these changes you go through. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be an interesting.
Put it back here.
He's rocking the guy.
Do the little sexy sax man, long pony on the back.
Skull it.
I'll do it, man.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you some. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna break it up real quick. I'm gonna ask you these 5 questions. They have like nothing to do with anything. They're just weird questions I like to ask people because why not, right? So, first one: which dad would win in a fight? Fight Club, Brad Pitt, or Thor, Chris Hemsworth? Chris Hemsworth, Thor. Which one do you think?
Chris Hemsworth have his superpowers?
I mean, he's a big dude, but Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but like Thor can lift the hammer. Does he have the hammer?
No, but I mean, I meant like the shape of the guy or the attitude of the guy.
I'm gonna go Brad Pitt from Fight Club, bro. Easy. It's not even a measurement.
I think Thor would get tired out of beating him, and he would just like lose. That's my opinion.
Those skinny meth head looking guys are the rough ones, man. Like I know that's me. Like I wrestled 125 in college. We're built different. We got to be weird up here to even compete in that realm. So you got to break us. It's hard to do.
So you were the right person for this question, apparently. Who's your favorite comedian?
I love Dave Chappelle, man. Dave Chappelle or Andrew Schultz.
You know what, Schultz is good on stage, but his like when they put him on his show when it's organized, it doesn't work because he just, to me, he does everything like off the energy of the crowd, and I think there's magic there that you just cannot get when it's scripted. But I got to go with Chappelle, like just more well-roundedness. But I do dig Schultz. That dude is.
If I had to only listen to one, it'd be Chappelle. Easy, like he's too good. I love like his Netflix specials kill me, and Joe Rogan. Actually, I love Joe Rogan. He's hilarious on stage.
You know who was one of my old favorites, and it was just because I don't know, the weirdness of him. Dave Attell will always make me. He would always get me. He was one of those guys. What's your go-to comfort food?
I like EL fudge cookies.
Got it.
Double stuffed, chocolate frosting. Just those cookies are my jam.
Nice.
That's my go-to.
Nikolai Tesla or Thomas Edison?
Oh, bro. It depends. Are we talking ingenuity? Or are we talking business acumen? Because one of them was like a hack who like stole other people's ideas and scaled a business and made it adoptable. The other one produced all the ideas and ended up broke. So
your answer determines your attitude, I guess. So you got to figure that one out.
I'm gonna go Nikola Tesla.
All right.
I don't think Edison has scruples.
Same. What historical figure do you admire the most?
Jesus.
Can't beat that. Agreed. So that was it. See, it wasn't too hard, right? Good.
Not too bad.
Good. You know, gets the juices flowing. So, busy man, what's your daily routine look like? So,
up between 5 and 5:30. I try and get 6.5 hours of sleep at least. So 5:30 is usually where that sits. Maybe 4:30, depending on what time I go to bed. I'll wake up. I will have a green drink. I got some mixed greens. I shake up right away, and get some good positive stuff in my body. I'll from there I'll journal. I'll write in that journal a little bit. 10-15 minutes is super hard for me. It's not my jam, but it's one of those things that every time I do it, it shifts a lot of stuff in my mindset and in my emotions. Like it's a powerful exercise for me to just sit down and journal, 10-15 minutes. And sometimes one of my most powerful journaling exercises, I'll share this with you because, there's something that I'm going to do at some point in time around this. I write a letter, or a note from my future self about what I need to do that day. That, when we see our future self, right? I don't know who I see myself as, like wealthy, respected, connected, and like just doing great. Right. So I take that person that I see myself as in, 10, 15 years. And I still feel like I have some of those aspects right now, but I idealize my future self and then write a letter to myself about yesterday and today. How did you perform yesterday? And who do you need to be today to become me in the future?
So it's like an accountability report to your future self.
Absolutely. And like a coaching piece from myself.
Do you ever, and that's pretty cool actually. Do you ever go back and read old ones, like just to see? Yeah. So I journal too, but I never go back and read them. I always think I will, but I just never do.
Oop.
But I probably should.
I just kicked over my leg. Give me a sec. Yeah, I go back and read it from time to time.
You're officially the worst guest. Look at you, man. Can't take you out.
By far, bro. By far. Can't take me anywhere, dude. Can't take me anywhere.
Just like at the table. We can't keep you still.
You can't, bro. You can't. Not on stage, not in my house. I'm a train wreck.
I think we were both hopped up on the desserts that day too. I forget.
Those are fire, bro.
I think I peer pressured you into taking some. You're like, nah, I shouldn't. And I was like, yes, you should. and that's why you were jumping around. So
sure.
So that journal thing's pretty cool. That now, I don't want to take you too far. So that's your morning routine, and then
not done.
Go,
so
yeah. Just keep going.
Yeah. So from there, after my journal, okay, I'll meditate. Okay, or before. Sometimes it depends on what I'm feeling. Then I'll go work out. Got to get jacked, right? And then got to get that sweat on. And then I usually every morning I'll send a text to my wife, or almost every morning. I'll send a text to my wife and tell her how much I love her, appreciate her, and honor her.
And I believe that from you, actually, because I see you do it sometimes on Facebook, like just randomly, but you use a lot of like the words you use and the way you do it. It's very authentic and like not, I don't know. Sometimes I see people do that and it feels false. But, yeah,
I like how you hit me up like, is your marriage okay, bro? Every time I see people post like this, I'm worried they're on the verge of divorce. So I'm like, yeah, bro, we're Gucci. We're Gucci. That's authentic. I'm not trying to like speak something into existence on that. So I'll text her. I used to write these Post-it notes to my kids every day. I'd like write a Post-it note. I have journals full of them where I like write them little notes, like I put it on the door when they walk out the house for like daycare and stuff like that. And like I'd write them for my wife. But I started realizing like there's better ways for me to do this, but I try and connect with my wife no matter what every morning. I try and have like a connecting moment with my kids no matter what. And then from there, the next thing that I do, I have these little cards. Let's see if you can see that. They're business non-negotiable tasks. Like, here's my things that I have to get done today that move the needle forward on my business. So I don't get caught up in like emails and garbage and, oh, let me go check my Facebook ads. Oh, there's a new face. Oh, let me just, it keeps me focused.
Okay. And
so that's how I do it every morning. Like, so I check my body, through my workouts and my greens, my being, which is my meditation, my journaling, my balance, which is my relationship with my wife and my kids, and my business, where I usually will read, something for like 10, 15 minutes, put on an Audible or whatever, put on a YouTube video. And then I do my non-negotiable tasks. And I got to check those things off by the end of the day.
And what time do you kind of shut off the business and seek into family life?
It varies. If I get an early start, if I start on the day at like 7 and I crush, I'll go pick up my kids at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then just try and do the family stuff around 2:33, or, be like 5, 6, 7. It kind of varies depending on like what the need is right now. Right. Cause we're in startup mode. We can only move as fast as we can move. Like 9 women can't have a baby in a day. So that's why I got to make sure my tasks are on point, because I got to make sure I move the needle far enough, but I can't do everything all in one go. Right.
No.
So.
No doubt. What does your best dad life look like then, as far as, navigating all this stuff?
So for me, I want my kids to feel loved. Like, I want them to feel like they have space. I want them to feel loved. I want them to feel connected. And I want them to feel like, one of the big reasons why I work on my marriage so much is because like that's the cup. Like, we model the marriages we see, right? That's what we model is the home that we're in. So my best dad life looks like harmony between my business and my family, where I'm not giving too much to one and not giving too much to the other, but I have balance and I have harmony. Balance ain't real. You can't have it, but you can have harmony between the two. So for me, it's activities with my kids. It's quarterly vacations, weekend getaways, doing like, hey, you want to go to wrestling camp? Let's go. Like, you want to do jujitsu? Let's go. You want to do gymnastics or play the trumpet or play piano? Like, it's just, I want to be engaged, really like my dad was. I want to coach T-ball. I can't wait for those times. I want to coach him in wrestling. So my dad life just looks engaged and like active, present, engaged, really. Yeah.
What would you say your dad's superpower is?
You know what? I'm gonna go with these kicks right here, bro.
I was gonna bring them up, but I'm glad you did.
Gotcha. So I embrace the dad life, man. When I do stuff with my kids, I wear these goofy shoes, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm putting on the uniform, baby girl." If you're gonna be a dad, when you go out play Yankee Stadium, you put on the pinstripes. You're going out doing dad shit. You got to wear the dad uniform. So I got the mustache, I got the freaking the New Balances, and I'm doing dad things, man. So I think my dad's superpower though really is like I'd say connection, man. Like I say connection. Like I feel really connected to my kids.
All right. So alternately, what would you say your dad kryptonite is? What sort of throws you off your game, in being a dad? Like what does throw you off your game in your relationship with your kids if they present you, it can be acting out.
My game, whining. Bro,
kids are an endless pit of need. You're just never gonna hear the end of that.
It's true. Like you can't fill that cup all the way, and I feel guilty because it's like on the one hand, I got a 16-month-old who's going through teething and he'll have you're introducing new food, so he'll be like tummy problems and teething, and like it's whining throws me off because now I feel bad that I'm irritated, right? That's like, dude, you just relax. He's having the hardest day of his life, and other times it's like I can't tell if he's whining or if has some genuine needs that he needs met that I'm not like taking care of right now. Like a kid needs to be stimulated. He needs to be connected with, right? And like if he's being super whiny, there's an unmet need. And when I start getting in my own head about like my stuff and how annoyed I am because I just want to break, like that's where it comes down to, man. Is like balancing that and then balancing my self-talk with it. Because there are times where I get like, man, you suck today. You're a horrible dad today. You did not perform at a high level. Bring your A game tomorrow.
Dude, I never asked myself this question, and it's kind of like I realized that I think whining is mine too, because we do so much to try to get ourselves in the right mindset in the mornings. We journal, we pray, we do this, we do that, so that we're like grateful and we're not whining, because we got to kill our inner whiner, and we do it early in the morning. And then you're all set, you got your workout on, you're crushing it, you got that, you're in your groove, and here comes all the and you're like, oh my God. And it's like you fought so hard to get yourself out of that headspace, and then they drag you right back in, and it's like so frustrating that like you that definitely derails me. I think that's my kryptonite too.
Yeah, man. And so like when my kids are old enough, because right, I'm 3 and 1, it's like I want to teach them this stuff, but when's the time, right? When do I start teaching my kid how to breathe? Like, when do I start teaching them how to meditate? When do I start teaching them how to be grateful? So I do affirmations with my oldest. I make him say like, I'm strong, I'm smart, I am awesome. I do all those things, but like, I don't know how far it's sinking in yet, but I can't wait to kind of teach him like this type of stuff as well. Cause it's super powerful for me. It makes me stop whining real quick, but there's a intellectual and emotional maturity, right? So figuring it out.
So that's how you're handling it right now, trying to do a little mental jujitsu till it actually takes. But I mean, it's an attempt. So
yeah, I'm just, dude, like a dad games, it's like baseball. If you hit like 1 in 3, like you're the best in the planet. Like, right? It's a game of misses. Same with golf. Like great golfers still have crappy shots, right? So I don't have to get everything right. I just have to get most of them right, right? And I have to stay engaged to make that happen. So that's kind of my view on fatherhood, is that engagement piece, and just look, I'm trying stuff and like see what works, and also evaluate like if that's a sustainable ordeal. Because I can always throw an iPad in front of him and make him stop talking. I can always give him some candy. I can always give him the TV remote. Like the whining stops immediately. It's like, when am I taking the easy way out, and when am I creating connection and just stimulation to get those juices flowing in there.
So I already know you're an interesting cat. I mean, we've talked a lot. So, but just for the people out there who might be watching this now or either later, like what's one kind of cool or weird or strange thing about you that most people don't know?
That most people don't know.
I know you're bilingual.
Yeah, bilingual. No, I learned, you know what? Here's one. I went to South Africa for 2 years. I learned a little bit of Zulu, Katngani Zulu, but I also learned like full-fledged South African Sign Language. Like I learned South African Sign Language like top to bottom.
And that, like, when you say South African Sign Language, is like that language works like in a lot of different of the countries or just in one
Only
place?
in South Africa, bro. Like even the deaf community's got their own language. There's ASL, there's ESL, there's South African Sign. And I fell in love with like the people there, and I fell in love with that community. My college major, because when I wrestled in college, was going to be like deaf studies. I was going to be a translator. Deaf.
Oh, deaf. I thought you said death. I'm like,
no, deaf.
okay.
Deaf.
Yeah.
Hearing. So yeah, that was my major in college, until I dropped out.
Interesting track. So how'd you get from, I mean, you're there in South Africa and you decide like, okay, I'm done. And you just came back to the States and was like,
yeah. So like in the LDS church, the Mormons, like the name tags and bike helmets and stuff, you see us running around. I did that, so you have 2 years that you serve, right? And you teach. So like every day you're up at 6, you're in bed by 9, and every day from like 10 o'clock to like 9 o'clock, you're out like knocking doors, making contacts. And like in my time, we didn't call home, except for on Mother's Day and Christmas, and it was like a 2-year boot camp almost, where you had to learn how to, be like strict, learn how to plan, learn how to make goals, learn how to do it on a daily basis, learn how to grind, learn how to like make all that stuff happen, learn to hold myself accountable, and we're living super rigid. We're not dating. We're not watching TV. We don't have cell phones. We're not like, Facebook wasn't there. So we're living like half Amish life, and it was like my 2 years was up, and it was awesome. And I came home.
Yeah, till now, I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together that was the reason why. But thank you for clarifying that for me, because
I don't really fit that mold with like the hair and the blonde and the craziness.
I guess if I see you in a white shirt, tie, and with a Bible and walking with a partner across the same, it's the mustache would still throw me off though, because those dudes are real clean cut. So
yeah. Oh, that's probably why I had it, because I had to be so clean cut for so long. It was like, no, now I can do whatever I want. I'm doing it. I'm doing whatever I want.
Rebel.
For sure.
All right, so what's one question that you're tired of people asking you? I know that's a random question. I ask it because
but I like it.
There is these things.
Well, you know what? Like, what do I want?
What do you want, or what?
Yeah. What do you want? When people ask me that question, like the answer changes from day to day. I feel like it frustrates me, because now I have to check in, see what I want. What do I want right now? What do I want later? Like, what does that look like? Like, why do I want it? Those questions are like they get annoying. I bet like doing all this personal development, it's like that's all they ask for. What do you want? Well, what do you want? And it's like, you know what? I sometimes I just don't know.
You must be a pain in the ass at the drive-through. Sorry. What do you want?
See, that's easy. That's easy. No interest. Yeah, existentially. Exactly. Like, I don't know. Last year I thought I wanted this. This year I know I want that. The year before I thought it was this. Next year it'll probably be something different. Like, so it's just that question kind of like it gets at me. Yeah,
I mean, you're right. I mean, that's one reason why I have a hard time writing goals, because they keep changing. Like, and I know that about myself, that I'm going to set something and I'm like, that's the direction. But I might decide to go off on, what do you call it? When you're playing a video game, when you go off on the side adventures, the
side quest.
I'm Mr. Side Quest. I should probably be my nickname. Yeah. But,
that's awesome.
I would go on every side quest before I finish the game.
Yeah, well, what's the journey, right? And so for me, I started doing those things in like 90-day increments. What's my target for the next 90 days? Like, what's not my goal? Like, not what do I want my life to look like? What's my outcome? Yes or no answers only for the next 90 days.
Yeah, I do a version of that, but yeah, I find the shorter ones like that I'm better off with, because I have the big ones, but again, I kind of like to work the maze backwards, and if I think about it too much, then I'm too far in the future, and I just hinder myself because then I get stuck.
Yeah, overthink, and like the map appears when the car is in motion. So what I try to do is set my car in motion in the direction that I think is best, and then course correct at 90.
Feel you, brother. So what's one question you wish people would ask you, but they never do?
Mostly just my wife. Do you want to have sex tonight? Like that's the question.
High five. High five.
That's the only question that I want to be asked. Really, I mean, or how do I give you money? How do I give you business? I like that question too. Like, how do we start? That's the other question. But
I like when my wife says, "How do I give you money?" too. I've never heard that. I would like to hear that. That's never that. It's usually, "How do I get money from you?"
For sure.
Not that she's broke or anything. She got her own money, but she still feels like I'm, I should be asked. What kind of dad stereotype do you feel like you don't fit in? Now, I know which one you do fit in, because you're just rocking them New Balances, like, you own the company. But is there any, like, I would say, like, are you like mechanically inclined? Do you like to mow the lawn? Are you like or do you just suck at the grill? Like, which one of those kind of like dad, stereotypes, dad-isms, you feel like, that one is not so much me?
I don't know. Let's think of some other ones. Like crush the grill. Like I'm good at that. I can mechanic up, like I think a lot of stereotypes for dads are kind of like sit on the couch, hang out, watch the game, have a beer. That's not really my jam. Until my kids start watching it with me, like I don't really want to watch sports. Like I'm not really like I think that's kind of a stereotype for dads, is like chill on the couch after work and hang out. And like I don't really like that. That's not for me.
And I find like a good amount of entrepreneurs aren't super into games like that, or if they are, they tend to be more into like the more physical stuff, like MMA or something like that, or wrestling, because it's kind of like a different.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's more of a solo sport than a team sport, and I think that's kind of like this. The entrepreneur mindset is like
mindset,
lone wolf. But yeah, I will say that I agree with that one too. Are you okay? I know you are, but I like to ask this question because I don't think people really get the importance of being in something. I like to ask, are you in any masterminds?
Oh yeah,
of course, because we met at one. But
yeah.
I want you to go into.
I still contract with Longship, and I'm still part of a couple of those masterminds with those guys, and like I still love those networks. They're great. I'm in the Multiple Club, which is like my main one, really. That I'm really like into the network. It's very tight knit, 30 people, and high level of accountability, like high level. Like if I'm slacking on my targets, slacking on my goals, like I'm getting smacked. Like if I'm not showing up on a day-to-day basis, like it's a high level of accountability, because it's not just about your business, it's about your life. Like if I'm not working out, like I'm gonna get a coach in me saying like, hey dude, where you at? What's up?
So how many are there then? Like, it sounds like there's a business and accountability one. There might be a fitness one. Like
so it's both. So the 4 pillars, call them the core 4, is body, being, balance, and business. Right. So your body being, you can't outgrow like your own personal stories, your interpersonal value, how you see yourself. You can't scale your business past how you see yourself. So the goal is to build yourself up so you have the capacity to build your business up. Right. So there's both sides. Right. If I'm not hitting targets, if I'm not showing up, you can't be 2-dimensional or 1-dimensional. You got to be 4-dimensional all the way across the board. So it's accountability for everything. Like they've got a lot of resources. What's that?
It was body, being, business, and balance. Okay.
Yeah, or you can go faith, family, fitness, and finance. Like,
yeah, those are actually the ones I kind of gravitate towards. But
yeah, it's the same. 4 F's. They're all the same thing. It's those pillars. Jesus said spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, like he talks about it in the Bible. And Jesus grew, and they list all 4 of those things. So.
Didn't put it together like that, but it's true. I feel thank you for connecting that for me. Love that about you, brother. So, big question here now that I have for you is, how do you want to leave your mark in the world? I mean, you're doing all this stuff. You're definitely self-improving, and you got the dad thing down, and you're in your lane, and you got your head down, your blinders on. Is there any grander purpose out there in your head? And it doesn't have to be, because some people I just want to make sure that my kids are good. I want to, do this or that. I have mine, which is I want to, and I'm, this is nobody else's. This is mine. It's like, I want to be instrumental in the adoption of 100 kids before I die. And so a lot of the stuff I do is with that end in mind. But do you have anything, like a bigger thing that maybe, I don't know, I could help you along with, or just share that, because you never know.
As far as like the mark I want to leave on the world, legacy, right? Everyone wants a legacy. And like when I look at my legacy, there's some part to me that like, yeah, I want to be, I want to coach men. I want to do all this stuff. I want to be like a game changer for fathers. There's the other part of me. It's like, look, I want to have a big impact on like 100 people, but most importantly for me, it's the dad thing. Like any legacy I leave outside my home that like doesn't leave a good legacy inside the home, it's not really success to me. Right. Like for real, if I cure cancer and fail as a father, like for me, that's not what it is. Right. Obviously I'm not trying to cure cancer, but at the end of the day, the legacy is in the family, right? It's in the people that you connect with on a regular basis. So I got a pretty close tribe of like really close friends and people that I stay really connected to, and I'm not afraid to go deep, I'm not afraid to go deep quick. I'm not afraid to share emotions or feelings or thoughts. And like, the legacy that I'm looking to leave is really to be free, like unchained. Like we all have our own chains we made up in our head. We all have those, and it's to like release myself, and by releasing ourselves, we give other people the permission to do the same, right?
So you want to inspire, other people to be free, and then, more specifically, make more specifically dads and in their journey to, kind of join you along with that. And
really, I said a whole bunch of stuff like blah 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 blah. But really, most of like the family. Like if you're talking legacy, like yeah, man, I want to help men. Like I feel like men are we're seen differently right now. We're not really taught how to be men. We're not really taught. We kind of have to figure it out, or we get a good group of friends to help us figure it out, or be part of a mastermind that helps us figure it out. But really, I feel like most men don't have the tools and the support networks to really reach their capacity and to really give themselves permission to be the man. I feel like every man feels like they have a higher calling, a higher purpose. They feel like they're, more than they can be. Like masculinity is driven by that feeling of like, I can do more, I can be more, I can have more. But there's not really like paths to do that. I mean, religion can do some of those things, but it can't do everything. And in some cases it hurts, so for me, it's coaching men and specifically dads. Cause I feel like most people don't have that example of a good dad. Like most people I talk to never had a good father, so how can they be a dad if they were not taught how to be a good dad? No one showed them how.
Sounds like you want to put something together there. Interested to see that where that goes. So keep me in the loop, because there's a lot of people that I've met, especially because of doing this show, that are on a similar path as you, and say, not the same thing, but like have that same sort of energy, cause, vibe behind them. So as you grow and as you get there, like, let me know if there's something more formal, because like I said, I'm part of other dad mastermind. In fact, it's a pretty interesting group, the one I'm in, because most of the guys are from Canada. So it's interesting to see kind of like the different not big cultural differences, but slight enough to make it kind of more interesting to me, because I'm just used to the American way of things. Also the Latino one, where it's a little bit more machismo, so I'm kind of an oddball in that as well. But I'm always happy and interested to see these things as the way they grow. And then, I go to different ones to see, the technologies they use. Some are very technical and like, okay, these are the steps, and others are just like freestyle it. But either way, it all works, because at the end of the day, I think everybody feels supported, and it feels like most people get something and learn from them. I can't tell yet, because not like everybody does a rah-rah session and says, oh yeah, I learned this today, but they keep showing up. So there's something there, which is proof of something there. I don't know, but I definitely enjoy being in wolf packs like that, because that's what they are. It's usually like, a good 10 or 12 guys telling truth and sharing stuff. And sometimes they even bring their sons into it, and they kind of have dialogues. And one I participated in was kind of cool, because the father and the son were like both there. And then the son was talking about the relationship with the dad, and they run a business together. So it was like they grew up friends in a way, because they were in business together, and they were like, the age difference was really small, like 17 years apart, 16, 18 years apart. So they were more like bros than they were dad and son. But it was cool to like, they talked about like what could be improved between them. And then some of us other fathers got to kind of share and say, hey, maybe, first of all, appreciate your insight and, how you were able to identify like your relationship that way. And then these things you're saying, like communication wise, or you're having problems. So learn how to put on a different hat, learn how to take off the business partner hat and put on the son hat, and tell dad, hey, I'm putting on the son hat. I'm asking for son advice, because men, we need to compartmentalize things. So we need to know which person we're talking to so that we can address that situation. But if you don't bring it to our attention, we don't know who we're talking to, which is why we have problems with our wives, because they never identify which person they're talking, we should be talking to in that. Are you the wife? Are you the business partner? Are you the, I just need you to tell me which hat you're wearing right now.
I have a question I asked that serves me well. So do you need me to support you or need me to help? Like, do you need me to listen or need me to support you? Like, what do you want? Do you want me to fix it? Or do you just want me to like rub you on the back and tell you like it's going to be okay?
You're the second person that told me that in this show. I think Matt Storm was the other one. I forget who, but I was like, yo, that's genius. And I think I used it for 2 weeks and then I forgot about it. But thank you for reminding me. reminding I seriously, I used it a couple times and I was like, damn, that's good.
That's good. It diffuses the situation and it lets you know which hat you want to put on. Because sometimes you want the monster, and sometimes she just wants tenderness. Sometimes she wants me to come in there to like drop the hammer and like help solve the problem. Another time she's like, hey, I'm struggling here and here, and I need you to like support me here. It's like, okay, cool. Now I know who to be. Yep.
That is a nugget that I gotta keep remembering. What was it? Do you need me to
do you need me to listen?
Listen
or to fix it?
Yeah. There you go.
Or you want me to help you fix it?
A version of that, but yes, I get it.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that you were part of that group. I was part of another group. I actually ran a few like we called them crucibles. They were like day to 2 day events. Yeah, it was hardcore. It was like,
hey, is that where you guys are lifting up logs and running naked through the beach? That stuff. Yeah.
That stuff. We did that. It was for dads. It's called Fathers of the Future, and I was like helping coach with a guy named Luke Kayem. He does a good podcast as well about dads. It's literally called Fathers of the Future. It's awesome, and like seeing people in that moment, and running a couple father-son combos through that was special. For the son to see the dad be in a situation where he's like suffering, or he's in an ice bath, or he's like on a really long hike, or doing all this stuff, like just being in a different, changing the dynamic. Because you usually see this, you never get to see like, you usually see this, right? Dad, son, you never get to see that performance on this level. Like very rarely does a son get to see his dad like be a warrior and like see how he shows up in that situation. So there's some special little moments we had there. It's interesting to see that dynamic when it's not the normal dynamic.
Yeah, imagine. So I think we're towards the end here. So you ready for your dad joke debut? You got that fire? Got that dad joke fire?
Well, I just went simple dad joke, bro. This is not a long joke.
Yeah, all right. No, that's all you got to do. Some people bring a lot, some people bring a little, some people. Yeah, I have to give them a joke. It's okay. We're here to support each other. If I got to throw you one on the slide, it is what it is. We're here to support each other. What you got for me, homie?
So here it is. How do you find Will Smith in the snow?
I should know this I'm from Philly, and I feel like I actually do already know this. But
you look for the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, buddy. I remember that one. But that you deserve it for bringing that back from the archives. I've used that before, but it's been a while.
Yeah,
Coming from Philly, I'm gonna respect that. Respect.
For sure. Respect. Put respect on my name.
I will, sir, Mr. Frost.
All right.
All right. Well, look, man, you're the best, man. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see. Well, the orthodontic thing, I don't need that so much, but I can't wait to see content web, whatever that develops into, because, I know it's sorely needed. I know plenty of people need that. I can't wait to see what you do with that. And yeah, man, just anything you need from me, let me know. Any dad groups you wanna jump in on, let me know, because I'm the plug. Well, I'm a plug of some of them anyway. You probably got more plugs than me, but
I don't know. I got to get in on yours too, man. I got to be a part of some more groups.
Yeah, but you need to meet the Canuck crew, the Canadians. That's Fridays and Saturdays. They're pretty decent bunch.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Man, look,
over my way, but I appreciate you, dude. Anything else?
Nah, man, you did your joke. You showed the New Balances. You kept it real. You supported me in this. I mean, like I said, you're the originator. I just wanted you to grace us with your presence because, like I said, people need to know who you are, just because, like I said, this wouldn't be around without that conversation that day. So all respect due. Take us out with some Zulu, man. Like, bless us with some Zulu.
Sabona puti, hama kunjani. Giapila mfuetu, giapila, hama kunjani wena. All
right, so what was that?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. Good, how are you?
I thought it could have been a dad joke in another language. That would have been
I can't wax that eloquently on in Zulu. But I used to go around the township and say unga puzi, unga bame. It means don't drink and don't smoke.
Well, you were no fun. Oh, that you were supposed to be there saying that.
Bro.
That was your mission. I'm sorry.
I was talking to 12-year-old kids, bro. I was talking to 12-year-old kids who were getting into hood stuff, bro. What are you talking about?
I forgot. That was the wrong message at that time. I mean, that was the right message at that time. So yes,
for sure.
All right, bro. It's been fun. Just hang out in the green room for a second. I'm gonna finish off with these lovely people that hung out, and then we can wrap after this for a second. Okay.
All right, bro. How do I go to the green room? Leave studio.
I'll put you in there. Hold on.
All right. I'll be waiting.
All right. So that's that. And okay, guys. So that was Chase. One of my favorite people. We didn't grow up together, but I feel like we did. He's part of this this whole thing, this dad next door idea. So I was really glad to finally get him on here. Now, as far as the rest of this show, I don't have much to share. I mean, what we normally have is, I just tell you about some of the things that are going on. But this week really just been focused on, I think I mentioned it before, but doing a seed round for a tech company that I'm a co-founder of. And yeah, I'm just getting my stuff ready for that. As I mentioned before, I'm helping people found tech companies. So I'm actually living out what I'm saying that what I'm saying I can do, I'm living it out too. So yeah, I mean, just if you guys are interested in, you have a tech idea you want to develop, just reach out to me. We're here. We can joint venture with you after we take you through the process. And yeah, so far right now I have mine and 2 others that are looking pretty good, but I'm on a mission to do 100 within the next 10 years. And it's a big mission, obviously, but the more people that I can reach, and this is one way I can reach them, the more I'm able to help or potentially help. And who knows, even if I don't get 100 people or, help 100 people with that, at least I tried. So set a goal, and I'm going to try to reach that goal. Also, we have that opportunity available for young entrepreneurs. Let me see if I can find that real quick. So, if you know a young person, a college kid, maybe a high school senior that is looking for an opportunity in tech, they can text the word the letters YEM to 305-602-3632. And they could be, if you heard that, they could be, joined up to our program to develop young entrepreneurs to possibly develop their own idea or work in a tech company with us. And, there's also the Make Money, Have Fun Mastermind that we have every week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And if you're interested in becoming part of Mastermind, Chase mentioned some masterminds while we were talking. I'm in some, he's in some, I help facilitate some. And if you're interested, you're somebody that needs to, I guess, level up your entrepreneurship and you want to be around other entrepreneurs that have your best interests at heart, you could just text the word Mastermind to 305-602-3632, and you will get a hot seat on a Tuesday or Wednesday of your choice so you can see what that's about, see if you like it. I think that's it for me. That's all I have to go with this week, and hopefully you enjoyed the show and you'll be here for the next one. So take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you on the next one. Daddy out.